some challenges around that.
For sure.
Unless you're dating within your circle.
I know,
right?
You're
like,
telling me. I'm like, how do I meet new people?
Yeah, if you're meeting new people, you don't have that kind of vouch. And the second thing is even if they can provide a munch organizer. So I ran a munch for 8 years, or I co-ran a munch for 8 years. I met 1,000 people, right? I met them for 30 seconds. I can tell you whether or not they walked out on their bill. I can tell you whether or not they were rude to the waiter. I can tell you whether or not they made anyone else feel uncomfortable in that room. I don't know how they behave when they have a choice to follow a boundary or not, right? I don't know how they behave in a stressful situation. I don't know how well they are at advocating for themselves. There's so much people can't vouch for. The best we can kind of say is like, yeah, I've never seen them behave inappropriately in a social situation. Unless they've slept with them, they don't know how that person behaves. Unless they've done kink with them, they don't know that, right?
That is such a good point. Yeah.
So vetting works, and it doesn't.
Because how often have something come out about somebody that you knew, and you were like,
yeah,
I didn't know.
If predators were easy to spot, right? Like if they were horrible all the time, we would know about them.
Yes.
It's because people are often, they're not the same person all the time, and because people aren't all one thing, right? Someone who, for whatever reason, refuses to follow boundaries in the bedroom. It could be about shame. It could be about ignorance. It could be about power, and you don't know until you're in it. So a lot of the stuff.
And that person can have a perfectly normal conversation with someone at a bar and give a great first impression.
Yeah. Especially if the thing that they get off on is taking power from people, they're going to be well versed in playing
the manipulation.
The game. Yeah, exactly, right?
Yes.
So I want to look for people who can talk about how they respond when something goes wrong, what comes up emotionally for them when they feel rejected, right? If I reject you, do you tend to get angry? Do you tend to get
if you
sullen?
say sorry, you're touching me a little much. I'd rather you not. If their reaction just on that can be very telling.
Yeah, if they shame me, that's a no-go.
Yeah.
If they like
angry,
pout and they're like, oh, well, I just like you. I'm like,
manipulation.
That's fair. You're allowed to like me. That's not a bad thing, but also my boundaries matter, right? Yeah. So like, how do they respond when we start having these conversations?
Defensive or
yeah. If they are like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I was totally excited. I just like, thanks for letting me know. That tells me good things. It means we can have a conversation.
That's a great reaction.
Yeah. I don't need anyone to be perfect. Yeah. I need them to be open to hearing me, and I need them to respond in a way that helps me set my boundaries rather than hurts.
Yes.
And we all have struggles with boundaries. Like, think about your family. If you say no to your mom,
don't make me. No, I will not.
Does she respect your no, or does she?
Of course not.
Out? Right. So we're not set into the world to have great boundaries. So it takes a lot of practice. And I think about that stuff all the time. It is hard for people to set boundaries. So as a partner, like, please show up, thank people for setting their boundaries, encourage them to set them, and then go from there.
Yeah. I think that's great and a great first half conclusion. Everyone, this is Heather Elizabeth, and I'm going to read a couple little commercials from some sponsors. The month of February here on the podcast is sponsored by Lovecrafters, a non-gendered fantasy sex toy line that offers products like strap-on compatible tentacle dildos, which we just gave away at our last show. The person was
cool.
Ecstatic when they won it. Dragon egg Benoit balls, and squid butt plugs. They also have this new unicorn horn dildo.
Oh, wow.
That is exactly...
Can you strap it onto your head like a horn?
It's strap-on compatible, so definitely.
Oh my gosh.
Fuck yeah, dual purpose. These geeky and playful products are body safe and handmade using platinum grade silicone. And if you want to hear more about this groovy Toronto artist, and she is groovy, check out episode 89 of the Bedpost podcast. You're listening to it right now, in which I have the pleasure of interviewing this amazing silicone artist, Shay. She's so cool. Please check it out. And if you want to go one step further and purchase one of these whimsical sex toys, check out the Lovecrafters Etsy shop, or head on down to our full-time sponsor's website, comeasyouare.com. And speaking of Come As You Are, this episode has also been brought to you by the worker owners of Come As You Are. They had the particular distinction of being the world's only worker-owned cooperative sex shop. With feminist and anti-capitalist values, Come As You Are only carries sexuality products that they truly believe in and at the lowest price possible. Enter coupon code BEDPOST when you check out at comeasyouare.com to receive a 15% discount. That's bomb. And don't forget that shipping on orders over $50 is free in Canada. So that's BEDPOST when you visit comeasyouare.com. So, Heather Elizabeth.
Can I just say, I'm excited. I'm going to use that coupon code because I am out of gloves. I need to restock. After the weekend, I need to restock my latex glove collection.
Love it. Do you have those like saucy black ones?
Yeah.
Do you use the black ones or the purple?
I use the black ones.
Or the blue? Oasis uses the blue.
No, the blue reminds me of medical. I'm not a medical fetishist. So I can't get into it. But the black ones, I do one inside out so it's smooth. Right. Yeah. Do you know about this? So the Black Dragon gloves.
Enlighten me.
I didn't bring any because I'm out of them. But they're textured, right, on the outside, which is great for gripping skin. It's great for opening your lube. But if you turn it inside out and just kind of like quickly blow on it so all the fingers pop out, the inside is silky smooth, like super soft because they're powder free. So if you're doing a fisting scene, it can be really helpful. So if you're doing a single hand fisting scene, to have one inside out because it's smoother and it doesn't
It's smoother.
And it doesn't have that textured grippiness, right? So you can still
You are
use your
blowing
other
my
hand.
mind right now.
Thanks. It's really useful.
Speaking of, did you bring some things?
I did.
Did you? Do you want
to
to take them out?
Sure.
This is fun.
So you know how we were talking earlier about what did I bring? Okay. You know how we were talking earlier about if you've come into kink with a partner, you kind of already hit the jackpot, right?
Yes.
But for so many people, when we're not used to asking ourselves, what do I want in this moment? It's hard to think about what will actually be fun.
Yeah.
So I brought two really, really simple, well, I brought four, but
okay, I brought 20.
I had to
You had to choose.
Yeah, I had to go through my toy bag and be like, they'll probably scare people. It's fine. It's not. Let's make this kink accessible. But you know, the kind of classic things, and part of what goes into kink is thinking about our core erotic themes, right? Like what makes something really hot for us. Mm-hmm. For a lot of people, the sensation of feeling powerful, feeling powerless, having power taken from us, or being able to give up power, which are different. Take versus give are different things, right? Mm-hmm. Or how giving to take power or getting power given to us are, again, that kind of different thing.
There's so many nuances in power dynamics.
Yes. Which is beautiful. It means you get to really tailor things to what gets you hot, but you have to do that dig in. I'm the nerdiest sex educator.
Dig into it.
I just love digging into this stuff. So let's talk about like that overwhelmingness, right?
Great.
Not difficult to do. This is bondage tape.
Oh,
you can get it as Come As You Are, and pretty much anywhere. It's really simple. It's really. I did not bring
scissors.
Yeah, I did not do that. But it just it tapes to itself, right?
Yeah. So it doesn't stick to skin, doesn't stick to hair, but it sticks to itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's a really, really simple thing.
Yeah.
That costs, I don't know, it's under
it's like
$5?
$12.
Okay.
Yeah. And I mean,
it's enough, right? It's going to keep you still. You can also use
do
this
the trick.
as a blindfold in a pinch.
Yeah.
You can use this as a mouth gag because it won't stick to people's hair.
Yep.
You can tie any limbs together.
And another thing I've done with this tape is made a cute outfit with it.
Yeah?
Have you done that?
No.
Just kind of wrapped it around yourself and kind of created a little kind of corset or a little bodysuit. Because if you go to kink events and you don't exactly have an outfit, this is $12 at Seduction.
Yeah. Oh, that's smart. I wound up with about 500 feet of purple saran wrap.
Uh-huh.
So I did make an outfit out of that.
Yes,
we
exactly
wrapped a
the
tube
same.
Dress,
Yeah.
And then I did not think about how I would pee that whole evening. With the event, I'm like, y'all, I need assistance. And I didn't bring a backup outfit for. I'm just like, shit.
Anybody
got
some?
Naked.
No, I'm naked. Yeah.
So this is great for bondage in a pinch. You don't have to learn a lot of things. Also, I couldn't find my actual blindfold scarf, so I just reached into my closet and
grabbed any old scarf.
A long one. The key is to get a long one as opposed to a square one, right?
Okay.
You're gonna fold it over a bunch of times, and then you can just.
Yeah.
This is a silk scarf. It hits that kind of luxury and that kind of spontaneous thing, right? This is something you can do in a couple moments, and it brings the senses into it in a really gorgeous way. So if what's hot for you is the idea of being pampered and being pleasured and being like this a luxury sex toy for your partner, right? Or treating your partner like a luxury sex toy, this is going to give you more of that feeling than this will, right?
Just because of the delicate, yeah. It's
right?
light, it's soft to the touch, yeah.
Yeah.
So again, depending on what feeling you want to create.
If you have ties, using a tie to tie someone's hand behind their back, or if you want to ruin a tie, using it as a milkshake.
And I do.
Right? Then some of the more...
But be careful when you're using, I feel like we have to give a kind of a word of warning when you're using items that are not meant for tying up and stuff like that, just to be careful that you could be cutting off circulation for somebody.
You have
stuff
to worry
like
about
that
for literally everything.
Yeah.
Literally everything. The advice I will give you is, so the wrists, make sure that you're putting the outside of the wrists together, right? Because this bone here is going to protect your soft nervy bits in here. The upper arms are a mess of nerves that can cut off your circulation to the bottom.
Yes.
So if you want to do intense bondage, for sure you're going to need some classes. You might want to take a book. You might want to find out your local thing. If you just want to tie your partner's hands behind your back,
they'll be fine.
You're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Because this can also bunch. Like, this is specifically made for it, but it can bunch up and press in weird ways.
Good point. Yeah.
Right?
So just be aware. Be aware that it could be a safety issue. So just don't go.
And think
Absolutely.
about the knot you're using. Make sure you're going to be able to untie it when you're done.
Have a pair of scissors ready if you're using this. Have some safety shears ready, stuff like that.
So if you want to avoid all that stuff, if that seems real complicated, I brought these.
Yes, beautiful.
Oh, I forgot I brought those. Okay, so these are. Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'm like,
we're doing this.
Yeah. Will they fit you? So these are my cuffs.
Gorgeous. These are beautiful.
They're from the Church of Sinvention, which is Canadian owned, and they're in Stratford. They have a gorgeous little church. It's their storefront, and they have this little. We're probably not going to be able to see it, but this little thing here that you can put a lock in, so you can lock someone in it. And I have.
So it's just a regular buckle, but there is a little loop that you can actually lock it. Love it.
And I have quick release cuffs because I don't like bondage. So
you don't want to be in it for too long.
It takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
So these you just clip on, and you can tie literally some rope under your mattress and stick people to it. Yeah. You can tie the cuffs to each other like this.
A lot more versatile.
Yeah. And with this, because it's really soft and smooth on the inside, like you get that luxury like texture feeling. It smells like leather. They come in a wide variety of colors. If that's important to you, it is for
aesthetics.
Me.
Yes, definitely. Like a lot of this is about aesthetics as well, right?
And these are wrist cuffs. They have thigh cuffs. They have collars. You can get a whole matching set.
Yes.
Again, really easy to play with bondage, right? You can just taking this, clipping them to each other, so you can now haul your partner around by this. You can make them unstable and knock them off
their balance.
Yeah, their footing kind of thing, which creates that taking power, being overwhelmed, kind of like it starts evoking those.
Yeah, if
those
that's
things.
what you're into. Yeah.
This blindfold is also from the Church of Sinvention.
That is a heavy-duty blindfold.
It is. So
yes.
It's
how plush on the inside.
Yeah, which feels very strange. I'm just gonna like, having been in it, I'm like, it's weird to have this kind of like fun fur on your eyes. But it's an elastic back, so it's just really like, it's really accessible. It doesn't matter how big your head is. You can make it smaller,
adjustable, smaller. I
got distracted thinking about the last time I wore this.
This is cool. Yeah.
And one more tip in my bag of goodies. These are all really accessible things. This is a pair of leather gloves. This is literally straight up winter leather gloves. They have a fashion buckle on them.
They do, pretty.
Like that.
Fashion buckle.
You gotta be careful not to hit someone with this part.
For fashion.
But it is for fashion. Leather gloves are really, really fantastic for a couple things. Now you can't feel my skin, right? If I'm touching you, there's still some like warmth, right?
Yes.
There's still a connection. If I'm touching you like this, it could be anyone. Right?
Yes.
There's a degree of anonymity to gloves. So either the latex gloves, which are super simple, or the blue gloves, right? If you want to do like kind of medical play. Also, can I hit you for a second?
Yes.
Okay
where? Yes.
I'm gonna hit you on your arm so you can feel the difference.
Great.
So my hand by itself is stingy, right?
Yes.
There's like a wrapping sensation. If I hit you with the gloves,
Ooh, thuddier.
it's a thuddy sensation, right? So if your partner doesn't like being spanked barehanded, I can't stand it. I got no time for barehanded
you know what?
spankings. Hurts. Don't like it.
Yeah, me too, I think.
But this takes that sting right out of it, right? So it's a really different sensation when you're like hand spanking your partner.
I love this because I like spanking. I do, but barehanded spanking, I'm like, it is a little
really
too
stingy.
stingy.
Yeah.
But I like the hand. Like, I don't like to use, like, that's my favorite method to get spanked is not using an implement like a paddle or whatever. But it's just like, a little too stingy, so I can't do it for super long. So that is like a really
Just get
great.
yourself a pair of leather gloves.
That is like a really great tip.
And they're a little padded on the inside.
Yeah.
So it helps your hand too if you're doing the spanking for a long period of time.
They're not as plush as the inside of this blindfold.
No, they're not. But also, I feel like these get more use. I really, as a top, well, like when I'm topping personally, I really like, at top or bottom, I really like primal together, lots of energy, lots of like, what do we evoke in each other and playing with that. So my kink play tends to be very close, very personal, very in my space. I want to be in your space. The spanking is great for that because it's like it's hands on body. But yeah, like it hurts, right? So hurts my hand when I punch people sometimes. If I'm spanking too long, it hurts. I don't like stingy stuff, so these are great. These are great.
If I'm punching someone for too long.
Yeah,
hey, okay. Can we talk about punching for a little bit? Because
sure.
I feel like when people I tend to use the words like rough body play.
Yeah.
Because I feel like,
mean to you?
What is that? Yeah. Well, what that means is like I like to be. This is kind of funny, but I like to be like punched in the butt.
Yep.
I love that feeling because it's just sending like reverberations very deeply, like that rumbly, type of a feeling. You can feel it through your whole.
Absolutely.
Your everything is like moving and just vibrating on a really satisfying like low frequency.
Yep.